Thomas, how did you find carnivore?
I found that about 3 years ago when I just got too fat and I couldn't move. I had gout, I had everything, and life wasn't easy. Yeah, so I looked on the internet. I found this carnivore diet. From my background, I knew it's not going to kill me. I thought, let me give it a go, and I'm still on it 3 years later, and I'm doing absolutely marvelous. I have no problems whatsoever. I don't take any pills. I don't. The gout is gone. Everything is fine. It's just marvelous. It is. I can only highly recommend everybody trying this. Yeah. It is. You don't even know what niggles and sicknesses you got, and until you try it, and you say, "Oh, that's gone. Oh, that's gone." It becomes a part of life. Oh, yes, at 60, your joints hurt. No, they don't. They're fine. Now up and down ladders, and I've got no problems. And don't take anything for granted when it comes to illnesses, which, oh, yeah, it seems to be a rite of passage sometimes, like, oh, I'm 60. Obviously, my back hurts. It's not obvious. It is shouldn't. Yeah. So I can highly recommend it. I come back every year uh, because I think people are interested to see if I'm still kicking. Yeah. And yes, I'm doing very, very well.
That's
The,
awesome. So just to ask about one of the things you said from your background, you knew it wasn't gonna kill you. What is that background?
oh, I'm into animal nutrition. I basically formulate specific diets for animals. Mainly, I do milk for rearing little kids and little bucks and little whatever, uh, because their moms, for some other odd reason, hasn't got any or died or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I do that and formulate food feeds and all that. So yes, I'm quite into the species specific diets. So I should have known. But we all get so indoctrinated that we need this and that. And also started to listening to studies. Unfortunately, that's a scourge of science. So that, oh, don't let me get me started on those. That's going to be a 5-hour rant. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you've been on carnivore for 3 years, and that also means this is your 3rd time coming back. Since we last spoke a year ago, has anything changed for you? Have you changed your diet or anything like that?
I've changed absolutely nothing, and I tell you why. Because I'm the laziest person that is available in this on this world. I have a air fryer oven. I have a cast iron plate that fits in there. My steak gets put onto that cast iron plate. I eat off that cast iron plate. I wash that plate. I'm even too lazy to wash a pan. So this is perfect for me. Yeah, so I would not change anything. If I see these carnivore recipes and I would have to stand there for half an hour mixing something up, I would just starve to death. I just couldn't be bothered. Yeah. So I get my steak, I get my mince or whatever it is, I put it on the plate, I put it in that oven for 15, 20 minutes, depends on the size, and I eat it. Yeah, I've never been a food connoisseur. I just eat because I have to, because I'm hungry. This was my biggest problem before carnivore, actually, that I just didn't think of what to eat. I'm hungry. Oh, let me buy that. And it usually turned out to be a chocolate and a pie or something very nice and healthy for you, on the road. And I stopped that, and that's basically it. I know there's a lot of talk out there. Oh, maybe we should add this and should add that. I feel so good. If I feel any goodlier, I will just plutz. So no, I'm done. Yeah, if I get any more sprightly, I'm gonna hurt myself. So it's fine. I'll just leave it as is.
So, like you're working on a farm. So have you found that it's easier or you can get more done since you've been carnivore?
Yes, work-wise, nothing is a chore anymore. It's actually a joy. You know, I used to be very good at delegating. I used to sit on the couch and have a cup of coffee or whatever, and then just delegate. That has stopped. I'm out there. I'm doing it myself. Uh, I, I fix things myself. I'm climbing roofs and fixing roofs, and I don't need to find people anymore to do these things for me. Yeah, there's a funny part. I used to be so vertigo, two steps up a ladder, and I was half dead up there, sweat and whatever. Yeah, and that has gone. I can climb up anyway, so even that has changed. Now, I don't think that it was the attitude that changed because I knew I was like 200 pounds overweight. Obviously, I'm not going to climb a ladder. I knew something would happen. Now I'm just up and down. Even if I fall, I'm thinking, oh, I'll survive that. At 200 pounds, you make a crater, so you don't survive it. So that attitude has changed. I really enjoy life as such. I don't get the argument that you lose out if you don't eat this and that and your family dinners. I have no problem. Yeah, I just carry on the way I'm doing. Uh, you try and be like me because I'm basically lying die because I'm just too lazy to cook anything else. Um, it's fine, it doesn't matter. But if you just get down from that sugar and that carb, it is unreal. Do not listen to any studies, and this study said, give it a go, try it, do it for the correct reason. Don't do it for vanity, because you're gonna falter on that one. Because you only want to look good in a bathing suit for the summer. That's not gonna work. Yeah, it took me 3 years. Yeah, cons on the whole thing was, yes, when I was fat, the wrinkles didn't show that much because the fat, well, basically Botox filler, yeah. So the vanity must go there, yeah. That unfortunately, I feel too well. I don't care about a wrinkle anymore. Once you lose weight, and that skin does, it's not as elastic anymore at our age. Maybe when you're 20, you can absorb it. I don't think I will. It doesn't matter. I am not that vain anymore. Uh, no, don't need. I'm not on dating sites, so it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So, how long was it before when you started initially, how long was it before you realized, "Oh, this is perfect for me?"
Okay, I started, and I think I started February 3 years ago. That was 23, I think, 22. And 3 months in, I had very, very bad gout. Man, I had gout every week. The doctor was, oh, you should go on allopurinol, uh, but I need to be gout free for at least 3 months. And I said, well, if I was 3 weeks, if I was gout free for 3 weeks, I wouldn't be here. Yeah, I just there was a gout every week, massive. I was walking on crutches. So the old pain pills came out and all that. Every time I had an attack. 3 months later, I left everything. I had not had a gout attack since that. And that is one of my major motivations, that I will never ever get off this diet at the moment. Something seriously must happen for me to change my mind. But that mobility alone, I will not go back. Yeah, that is not worth a cookie, not worth whatever it is. No, the mobility, that pain is frightening. Yeah. So, and I always had bad kidneys. So kidney stones were quite common. I had to do my own analysis on my kidney stone because I couldn't get anybody to do it. That's when I put two and two together. Yeah, that that plant they don't like me. And so when I stopped all that, since then I'm fine.
Nice. Have has anyone said to you you're eating a very strange diet, or has anyone been interested in trying it?
Oh yes, that comes constantly. That is constant. Uh, especially I'm from South Africa, so if you lose that much weight, you obviously have AIDS. So that is one of the thing. I don't care. They can say what they want. Uh, with this diet also comes a newfound confidence where you actually don't care. I found that, for me, in order to be offended, I would need to find your opinion valuable, and I don't. Because half the people don't know what they're talking about. So I'm never offended. I just say, yeah, sure, whatever. And it's usually 10-ton tests that give you a lecture on food. And I'm just looking, and I just leave it. And I just don't care. You've got this confidence. I feel good in myself. I feel good with my body. I don't need no body positive confirmation that for some reason I'm killing myself, but everybody must love me. No, I don't need it. I don't care. So I don't get into arguments. I don't talk about it a lot. If people ask me, I tell them, no, that's what I did. I'm just on meat. You want to try it? And one or two tried, but they're not desperate enough yet. They're not sick enough, or they don't think they're sick. Yeah.
Usually when people are not interested, it's just because they're not sick enough, but, when you've got gout and having trouble moving and stuff, that's a big motivator, right?
Oh, that is highly motivated, and you're willing to try everything. Yeah. And this is the funny part. I had a mechanic friend here the other day, and he came and said, he's got some bad sinus. Do I have any aspirin or something? I said, no, I don't. He says, don't you have any pain pills in your house? No, I don't. Yeah, well, why not? I said, because I don't have any pain. Yeah. I don't actually have a pain pill in the house. I actually thought about it. Maybe I should get some aspirins just in case. But I don't. And, what do I do for heartburn? Well, nothing, because I don't have. This is all these little niggles and which people just to take for granted. No, I don't have them. So really, again, highly recommended diet.
So at 60, do you feel better than you did, say, at 50 or at 40?
I think I'm in better shape now than when I was 40. To be honest, I played polo and polo cross all my life. I was quite active in it, and by 40, I felt that I'm old for this game. Uh, Now, I must say, I'm thinking of getting back on a horse. I think I can show these youngsters a few tricks. Yeah. So, yes, now I definitely feel better. Since I was always a skinny kid. This only started round about late 30s, 40s, where I really bloomed into the Michelin man. And that's by 57, I said, no more. And that's when I started to do my research on getting my life back on track in a sense.
Mm. So if someone asked you about carnivore and said, "Okay, Thomas, you've been doing this for 3 years. I want your advice or I want some tips from you on how I can get started," what would you tell them?
Um, well, the one thing, ignorance sometimes is bliss. Do not overthink it. Do not think, oh, I need this, I need that, I need blood works, I need this. No, you don't need anything. You just need a piece of meat and eat. Overthinking what ifs, coulda, shoulda, woulda, is going to derail you. Yeah. Should I try this? Should I try that? Now, I must probably started wrong. I just heard meat. I can do meat. Yeah. So I just ate meat. I never went deeper into it. What type of meat or this, and should I have that much fat or should I have this? No, I just ate meat. Yeah. and I haven't changed. Well, again, because I'm damn lazy, but don't overthink it. Just do it, and it becomes such a way of life that it becomes so easy. It is. I don't even think about it. Everybody says I'm a social. I'm very social. I'm a highly social person, and but there's never a question that I would eat that salad or would eat that. Look, I'm in South Africa, so everything is a barbecue anyway. So I'm quite fine with that. I said I do drink a beer every now and again with my mates. I'm not a big drinker. I think 2, 3 beers and I'm done here. So it doesn't seem to affect me, but that's about it. That's about the only sin I really do. Yeah.
Yeah. I like your advice about not overthinking, because whether it's about what we eat and sometimes it's about exercise and sometimes it's about business, we often go into it overthinking it and we spend so much time ruminating over how best we do things that we never actually properly get started. It's sometimes
That's
just go.
yeah, that's correct. And the biggest problem also is then that people listen to a lot of these opinions, which are basically then called studies. Um, you don't need a study for that. You, there is science behind this, which I can replicate in a lab that you will not die of meat alone. Uh, at least not for a year. Okay, in certain cases maybe you will, but not in the whole sense of it. And this is what I hate with all this doubt they put into scientists say in a study. Well, if it's a study, they're not scientists. Do not correlate these two. They're a bunch of idiots. Yeah. So if it's not replicable in a lab, don't listen to it. It's like in my field. Yeah, a puppy needs milk because the bitch is dry. Yeah. Well, yeah, we make one up. Yeah. Most of the time, as simple as taking a bit of milk and a bit of egg, for more protein. I don't need to test it and study it. I know it's exactly the same. I tested it. It's the same proteins. It's everything. And then somebody go, "Oh, did you study it?" I'm not giving this dog poison. Yeah, it's an egg. It's milk. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and that's where the doubt comes in. So do not fall for that. Just do it, and 3 months time, if in rare cases it might not be for you. I do not know. Maybe you have a kidney problem. Maybe you have a liver problem. I do not know. So, but in general, you fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your whole outlook will change, your whole lifestyle will change. If you're not willing to do that, if you're not willing to change your lifestyle, not very much. It's just when you go into a restaurant, if you're one of those cafe hoppers,
Mhm.
fine, but just make sure they got a steak and egg on the menu.
Right.
That's it.
Nice. Um, so Thomas, if people want to reach out to you, do you have any way that they can get in contact?
Yes, they can. There is I have a website. Not a website. I'm a bit internet challenged. Um, Email address. They can dedicated to this to carnivore. It's called meetandme66 at gmail.com.
Oh, okay, no worries. Well, I'll put that in the show notes. Um, I really appreciate you coming back on and letting us know how you're going, Thomas. It's
Yeah,
really good to see you 3 years in and loving it.
yeah, I'm still loving it. I'm most probably gonna. I'm gonna try and do this with you every year, and then people can see that I'm not killing myself with this diet. This is fine. Yeah, you
Mm.
can do it. If I can do it, and I'm the most tickled person out there, yeah, anybody can. There is no excuse for it. Yeah, if you have a health issue, do not do it if you think you want to look good in a bikini. Not a good. No, that's not a good thing to go for. Yeah?
Right.
Do not do it for vanity. Just if you're sick, do it, and believe me, you won't even know that you were sick.